So I'm a nurse manager at Swedish Ballard over the acute care and critical care float pool and over the electroconvulsive therapy department. So since COVID, I would say that the stress levels of the team have increased pretty dramatically, which impacted or has impacted my work. So I found out about the stress meter tool and some of the things that were going on the Providence Wellbeing or Wellness site. It was our CMO did a quick tutorial for the core leaders in our facility, and through a Teams meeting actually got on and kind of showed us the site. The gratitude garden kind of resonated with me initially, which brought me to the site myself, and then through kind of navigating around and looking at different things, I found the stress meter tool, and one day, my stress was a little higher than another one, and just sort of clicked around and kind of saw what the different resources and tools available to us were. I did find the tool pretty easy to use. It's very similar to like the FACES scale that we use as nurses for some patients to rate their pain levels. So I was kind of familiar with what that was looking like, and then you just sort of clicked based on where you were feeling that day. On the tool itself, I actually clicked around on different days where I was feeling, and there was a day when I was feeling up around the 8-9 level of stress, and I found there was everything from our behavioral concierge to the Credible Mind, I believe, different tools on there that I found kind of interesting, and just even reading about the normalcy of what I was feeling and what I was going through compared to what the world is facing right now. I think I was able to implement the different tools to help make a difference, at least in the moment, even if it was just to get me to the end of my shift until the next big fire and I had to go through it again. But I think more than anything, just the normalcy, the reminder that, I'm not the only one feeling this way. I'm not the only one experiencing these things, that we're all kind of struggling in our own way, and that how we show up and how we, behave in this world is just a part of it. I think when I speak to the caregivers and they're showing up with their different concerns, is really reflecting on where that behavior is coming from in the first place, what their frustrations. I don't know that they know it's anxiety. Sometimes it's just them trying to control something that they don't have control over. It kind of just spins out of control for them, and how can I help get them to appreciate that that's maybe anxiety? And then once they can get there, then the resources, I think, are a little more meaningful for them. I think caregivers, sometimes healers in general, don't tend to look inward as much as we are so busy looking outward. So how do we connect them to what they're feeling as being anxiety? We don't know very much about this virus. We don't know 100% how it's spread, or why, why it affects certain people more than it affects other people. Or I think nurses, healthcare workers in general, nurses, physicians, we like control. That's how we control our environment in the hospital. We control what goes in, we control what goes out, we control our day, our hour, our minutes. And there was no control. We can't control this. We show up at work and we don't know what the day is going to bring. We may have a certain idea of what it looks like, and the next thing you know, I'm asking you to shift or do something different or put this on. And yeah, lack of control is probably one of the biggest drivers of anxiety in the workplace right now. The thing that I wish people could know, and I don't even know how you would get there, is recognizing different behaviors in themselves. Like, how can they recognize that this is anxiety playing out? I had a nurse that was just really frustrated over oxygen tanks, and she swore up and down it was about oxygen tanks. And the thing is I've worked with this woman for as long as I've been with Swedish, and we've never had anxiety or stress about oxygen tanks. And so how do we back down from something like that and recognizing that, hey, the thing that I can control right now is oxygen tanks? How do we get people to recognize that? And so I think if there was anything that I wanted caregivers to know is how can they start to break down their behaviors and recognizing that this isn't normal everyday life.